Everyone, I'm here with Isel, and you must say the last name for me because you say it much better.
Arias Viñas.
Arias Viñas, from Caribe Connection Real Estate in Cabarete. I met Isel just recently, and she told me a very interesting story because she's actually from one of the oldest families in Cabarete, correct?
Yes, the Viñas family.
I'm just going to let you tell your story, and if you can maybe start with what inspired you to actually be in this interview, and then tell us a bit about the family background, about Cabarete and how it's evolved, and you left for a while, then you came back again, and why that was. So
I'm always fascinated when people like you who come from abroad do such a good work informing people about everything that goes on here and about how this place really is, you know, how people really are. This is very important to me to get the message out there of the reality of things, and I'm part of this reality.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about your family, please. You said you were around, was it you guys in the 60s? Not you, but the family.
No, I wasn't even planning to be born. I was born in 1980. But my grandfather came here in 1966. You can see some photos about 6 little wooden cabins being built in Cabarete Center. Well, back then there was no center and no outside. There wasn't even any electricity. My grandfather was in real estate, into commercial real estate, and he bought so much land back then for like nothing. Right. And a lot of the people that came to Cabarete bought from my grandfather. My grandfather's name is Don Chiche. Right. Manuel Ramon Viñas, but he's known as Don Chiche Viñas. Unfortunately, he passed in 1997, and actually the place where these 6 little wooden cabins were is that little street, pedestrian street in the center of Cabarete that connects the main street with the beach, where you find Le Bistro restaurant and Pomodoro and all these apartments, the Areca apartments.
It's basically the widest walkway to Cabarete Beach itself from the main road.
Exactly, it's a proper little alley. His vision was that everybody should have access to the beach. It's my vision as well. It's a pity that nowadays in real estate not everybody thinks like this. I believe, especially in the North Coast, when you close the beaches and you take away the access, you take away the mix of cultures that is to be, you know, Dominicans among expats, among like everybody mixed up together. Cabarete is a multicultural place, and you can't take that away, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, you went to Punta Cana, where I've sometimes been frustrated because you can't easily access the beaches, so that's exactly what we're talking about here. So how did you find Punta Cana yourself, and why did you come back up here?
Well, when I was 17, I grew up in Cabarete. When I was 17, I left. I was in Germany studying. I was in Europe for like 20 years, and in October 2014, I got offered to manage a branch for a real estate company in Punta Cana, and that's actually why I went there, to Punta Cana. And I have mixed feelings about Punta Cana. It's a good place for investing. Purely from an investment point of view, it's okay. Punta Cana has many fascinating sites, but it's not a place where I personally would live in permanently. It's okay to visit, it's okay to have it as a second home, but I don't have it so much in my heart like Cabarete, no? I can say that both places have infinite nice beaches. In the case of Punta Cana, all the beaches are white, sandy beaches. You know, the ones you see in the postcards, in your TUI catalog advertising. No.
Yeah.
Cabarete is a little bit more messy, a little bit more alive, a little bit more Dominican, no?
Natural.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they brought that sand in from Bahamas, didn't they?
Really?
A lot of the sand. That's what I've heard, and they use these.
I didn't know that.
To blow it in, yeah.
I didn't know that. You're telling me Punta Cana secrets here.
Oh. Anyway, we move on. So, what brought you back to Cabarete? What was the deciding factor that made you decide to let's come back here?
While I was in Punta Cana, I was wondering what made people choose Punta Cana over Cabarete. So I started asking, why did you choose Punta Cana? And turns out that it wasn't a choice. It was just that nobody knew that Cabarete is here, you know? So I found out that it wasn't a preference, but actually there's Punta Cana is very well known. It's I think probably the #1 destination of the Caribbean nowadays. The airport works very well. You have flights from 92 countries coming in every week, and it's just you know, one thing is the connection, but the other thing is people not even get Cabarete offered, no? So it's you have to want to come to Cabarete to find it.
Right.
You know, it's a little bit like an underground spot of the Caribbean.
Well, it's really what's being marketed by the big players overseas. I remember when I was in Europe and just trying to find out about Dominican Republic. I mean, just the scary things they told us about going outside the resorts.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How long have you been here now?
On and off, 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, finding Cabarete and Sosua was more like the tour people that told us, oh, we have tours out to Sosua, Cabarete. And then we found out that that's the expat towns.
Yeah, no, and you know, and the cost of living is much lower than in many other places, beach places of Dominican Republic. And it's like I said, there is the difference. What makes Cabarete Sosua so special is the fact that there's a big mix of cultures between Dominicans and expats, which is not the case in many other places, no? Mm-hmm. I believe if you are somebody, if you're American, if you're Canadian, if you're German, or whatever you come from, and you come to a country like this, you want to meet the people, you want to be part of it, no?
So Isel, Cabarete, how would you describe that? What unique things can people find in Cabarete? What's so unique about it?
In Cabarete you can find sports. There's very good wind in the summer for kite surfing, for windsurfing. If you are just a beginner, or if you are a pro, or if you just want to, you know, do it at the normal level, not break your bones. Mm-hmm. Cabarete has that to offer, really constant, strong wind. It's very warm here, so the difference between Cabarete and, let's say, Fuerteventura or Sardinia or many other good windsurfing places, Tarifa, is that you don't need a wetsuit because it's very warm. So normally in any other kiteboarding place, it gets a bit chilly with the wind, and but here it's super warm all year round.
And you have some of the biggest
Yeah,
surfing and kite surfing contests.
Also here, yes, and you have some of the pros that live here too, and they have schools that can teach you. You have Luciano Gonzalez. You don't get bored in Cabarete. If you come here, you will lose at least 10 kilos.
Okay. Well, outside Cabarete, there's also Encuentro, which is a standard surfboard kind of
Yeah,
type
Encuentro
place.
is for surfing, and also the same like with kiteboarding or windsurfing. You can be a beginner, and maybe you haven't even seen the sea in your whole life. You can come, and there's good schools where you can learn. You get your photo taken so that you can take it with you, you know.
And that's about, 5-7 minutes out of Sosua and 5 minutes out of Cabarete?
It's right in between Cabarete and Sosua. It's a very quiet neighborhood, very full of nature. There's a good, nice crowd of people that live there that are very sporty, very natural, you find some little restaurants with vegan food, you have yoga studios, it's super nice.
Very good.
And from anywhere in Encuentro where you stay, you can walk down to the beach. It's at the most 5 minutes, a 5-minute walk. And like I said, if you are a good surfer, you have good waves in the winter. If you're a beginner, you can. They have special spots where they can teach you. So don't worry, you won't get all washed up. Well, a little bit.
You have a few special things in Cabarete that I've learned over time. You got the caves, Cuevas de Cabarete.
The Cuevas de Cabarete. Yeah, you have the caves. But you know which one is one of my favorite spots? It's a little bit out of Cabarete, but these 27 charcos. You know, this 27 waterfall thing.
Yeah.
And also, you take a ride like 6 minutes out of Cabarete towards the other side, not Sosua, but towards the east. And there's this place where the Jessica River meets the ocean.
Rugama Tours, one of my favorite places to go. You can catch the riverboat up the Catalina River, meets the Jessica River, and then to the ocean.
And it's super nice. Yeah. And then over there in that place where the river meets the ocean, you have Wilson's La Boca, you know. You go there, you eat fried fish, like real Dominican food in a little hut made with sticks and leaves and everything. Yeah. So you get the real Dominican
Republic.
Yeah.
Lovely. And then you also have carnivals. You want to say a little bit about them?
Yes. And now for the whole month of February, every Sunday in Puerto Plata, they have like a carnival warm-up. So they have like dances and parades along the Malecón. And the biggest carnival is the last Sunday of February. But this time, I think it's going to be the first Sunday of March.
Right. And you also have the Cabarete Carnival.
Yeah.
You can look at my channel. There's a playlist there where you see called Interesting Moments Caught on Camera. I put a video purely about the Cabarete Carnival, and they've got amazing costumes. They come from all over the country.
From La Vega, no? The devils.
Yeah. If we just go back to the 6 huts on the beach, casting your mind back to when you were a child, how did you find the evolution of Cabarete? Did it explode, and what caused it to grow to what size it has right now?
In the 90s, Cabarete really exploded because it became ranked among the 3 best places in the world for windsurfing. Actually, the very first World Cup from the RRA from kite surfing was here in Cabarete. So there was a very special crowd back then here. But the thing that made it explode was mainly the sports.
Yeah.
It was ranked among the 3 best beaches in the world for windsurfing back there. Back then there was no kiteboarding. The kite surfing started in 2000.
Okay. What's also special, I think, about Cabarete compared to, say, Sosua, I love Sosua Beach, but nothing's really happening there at night. Where here, it's more like Ibiza, Spain, where Cabarete Beach, you can walk down, they've got the lights up the palm trees, there's a lot of restaurants and dining in the evening.
Yes, you can actually, you don't need any shoes to go for dinner in Cabarete, no? In the evening you just walk along the beach, you have La Casita de Papi, you have Ojos, Pomodoro. There are so many options to just enjoy yourselves. Actually, the nicest thing is to walk along the beach like at 6 o'clock in the evening, grab a mojito, watch the sunset, and then you stay already for dinner after that. And it's one of the very few beach towns in Dominican Republic, if not the only one, where you can actually walk at night on the beach and there's something going on.
And it's safe.
Yes.
they have cess tour out there, keeping an eye.
My grandmother is keeping an eye, controlling everybody from
And
their
you don't
terrace.
and you don't want to mess with grandma.
Doña Luz.
Yeah.
She's all the time there in there because, you know, she has the only house that's left on the beach because she says she's not moving from there. Nobody's moving her from the very center of the beach.
Yeah.
You know, everything else is restaurants already. She's in the only house and she's not moving from there.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, anything else you would like to say about Cabaret's, say, business world? Because you are in real estate up here now.
Yeah, well, what I can say regarding real estate is I always tell everybody to not be impulsive, get informed, come and live the place, check it out. Bear in mind that it's a different place, it's not your country, you know, it's not the States, it doesn't work like the States, it's not Canada, it doesn't work like Canada. You have to be open-minded to come. Just get very well informed about everything before taking any steps into anything so that once you make the change in your life of coming here, moving here, that you are happy about it, you know? Yeah. I'm saying this from my own point of view because I spent more than 20 years in Europe, and when I first relocated back here, I had a very German head. I was like, if I made an appointment for 8 o'clock, I wanted people to be there at 8 o'clock. And I was standing there, of course, alone at 8 o'clock, you know, because no one else showed up. And then you call them at 8:30 and they're like, oh, is that today? And I'm like, Jesus, yes, that's today, you know. So I had to learn to be flexible with time because that's an interesting thing. You know, we move back here because it's relaxed, but we forget to be relaxed, you know. So
it takes a while to
get used to
slow down from a pressure cooker.
Yeah, I'm still not just right there, but now I've learned to make an appointment with 4 different people at 8, 8:30, 8:45, and 9, and I make it with whoever comes first.
Way to go. And if somebody wants to contact you, give yourself a shout out. So the name of your real estate business? Is
Caribe Connection Real Estate. But if they type in Isel Arias, my name, ISEL ARIAS, Isel Arias, on Google, they will find me right away. Very good. Well, thank you so much for these wise words about Cabarete, and all the very best with your family and your business. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, and don't forget to tick like if you like the video, subscribe, refer it to your friends, and check out InfoHub, which is the new service we have for connections and information about the country. Thanks for watching. See you next time.